Hello everyone, and welcome to the UMA series of videos. In this episode, we bring you one of America's most famous mysterious creatures, the Mothman. The Mothman is an unknown creature from American urban legends. It is said to have a pair of huge wings, stands around 7 feet tall, and has a wingspan of over 10 feet. It flies extremely fast, has a humanoid body, but has no head. Its body is covered in black hair, and a pair of huge red eyes are located on its chest, almost like a headless insect, given monstrous human form. The Mothman was first sighted in the U.S. state of West Virginia. On November 12, 1966, at the Clendenin town cemetery, several men were preparing a grave for a burial. Suddenly, a large brown winged creature flew out of a nearby tree. Although the sighting was brief, the men insisted that what they saw was not a bird, but a humanoid creature. Soon after, 3 days later, on November 15, 1966, the creature was seen again in the TNT Area. The TNT Area refers to the area around a decommissioned ordnance works north of Point Pleasant, West Virginia. The facility produced munitions and explosives during World War II, which led to severe chemical contamination in the area. Around midnight, 2 young couples were driving past the old local power plant when they saw 2 glowing red eyes by the side of the road and heard a screeching sound. They immediately stopped the car to investigate and saw a humanoid creature about 7 feet tall. It had wings folded against its back. Terrified, they sped away from the area. After returning to town, still shaken, they thought it might have been an optical illusion caused by the dim light. To confront their doubts, they decided to drive back to the TNT Area to check again. But they hadn't gone far before they spotted the creature next to Route 62. At this point, they realized the creature was definitely not a bird. But when they shone the car's headlights on the creature, it flew away at an extremely high speed. By the time they got back to town again, they immediately recounted the event to the local police. 2 hours later, police dispatched officers to search the area, but they returned empty-handed. The next day, local media quickly reported the incident, and the news of a giant humanoid creature in the TNT Area spread. Influenced by the popular Batman comics of the time, this creature was given the moniker of the Mothman. In the year that followed, Point Pleasant recorded over 100 estimated sightings, but no one ever captured a photo or other physical evidence. Then, the Silver Bridge incident occurred, propelling the legend of the Mothman to new heights of popularity. The Silver Bridge was first built in 1928. It was the first suspension bridge in the United States to be painted with aluminum, and due to its silvery white color, it was named the Silver Bridge. On December 15, 1967, the Silver Bridge, one of the main arteries connecting West Virginia and Ohio, suffered a catastrophic collapse during rush hour. 31 vehicles plummeted into the icy river below, a tragedy that claimed the lives of 46 people. And here, the legend of the Mothman transformed. It is said that in the days and weeks before the collapse, many people had witnessed a giant, winged humanoid creature flying near the bridge. Strangely, after this disaster, the Mothman sightings in Point Pleasant stopped completely. But from that time on, a new narrative began. Similar Mothman sightings were reported in connection with tragedies all over the world. For example, the 1978 Freiberg mine collapse in Germany. Miners preparing to enter the mine were allegedly confronted by a tall, dark, humanoid creature standing at the entrance. It let out a shrill scream at them before flying away. The men refused to go inside. A day later, the mine collapsed. They believed the creature had saved their lives. The legend grew, and soon, Mothman sightings were being linked to other major disasters. There were reports of a large gray creature flying over the reactor before the 1986 Chernobyl nuclear explosion. A dark, winged figure was allegedly photographed near the Twin Towers on the day of the 9/11 attacks in 2001. And before the 2011 earthquake in Japan, there were claims of a large gray bird with red eyes seen over the Fukushima nuclear reactor. Between 2011 and 2017, sightings reached another peak, with at least 55 people reporting seeing the Mothman in Chicago. Countless rumors of this kind exist, and most of them are accompanied by disaster, death, and fear. These frequent connections have led many to believe that the appearance of the Mothman brings misfortune or perhaps is a warning of impending doom. So, does this strange humanoid creature really exist? Several theories have emerged over the years to explain the bizarre sightings. The first and most popular explanation is that it was simply a large species of bird. West Virginia University wildlife biologist Robert Smith suggested that the Mothman may have been a sandhill crane. This bird can grow as tall as a human, has a wingspan of up to 7 feet, and has distinct red markings around its eyes. This theory, first published in a 1966 issue of the Gettysburg Times, is still accepted by many people today. Building on this idea, some believe that chemical pollution from the TNT area might have caused a local animal to undergo a mutation, altering its appearance or behavior. Paranormal investigator Joe Nickell proposed it could have been a barred owl, and that the infamous glowing red eyes were likely just the red eye effect caused by the reflection of headlights or flashlights. However, most eyewitnesses have rejected this explanation. They consistently insisted that what they saw was not a bird, but a creature with a distinctly humanoid form. Another theory turns to mythology, suggesting the Mothman is connected to the white eagle from Shawnee tribal folklore. The legend tells of a human family who, through a magical trial, chose the feathers of a white eagle and transformed into the birds to live forever in the forest. Some locals believe the creature seen by townspeople was a manifestation of this ancient spirit. While a fascinating story, this folklore-based explanation lacks any verifiable evidence and remains purely speculative. There is another theory that leans toward a supernatural explanation, stating that the Mothman is an extraterrestrial being with the ability to see the future. This is also the most widespread and mysterious theory about the Mothman. After the Silver Bridge incident, this theory became extremely popular. But in fact, the reason the Silver Bridge collapsed was due to inherent design flaws in the bridge itself. Coupled with a long-term lack of maintenance since its construction in 1928, this led to the disaster. The person who linked the Silver Bridge to the Mothman was actually a paranormal author from the United States named John Keel. In his 1975 book, The Mothman Prophecies, he recounted how Point Pleasant residents had sighted UFOs and how the Mothman foretold the collapse of the Silver Bridge. Some people were even threatened by the Men in Black, but there is no actual evidence for any of this. During my own research, I also could not find any contemporary news reports of Mothman sightings over the Silver Bridge. This famous sighting photo was actually taken in 2003 by an amateur photographer of a different bridge. It turned out to be just a piece of dislodged, slanted metal. And other so-called Mothman photos have mostly been proven to be fake or the product of horror art. It's worth mentioning that The Mothman Prophecies was adapted into a movie of the same name and released in the US in 2002. If you're interested, you can check it out for yourself. In conclusion, I believe that the possibility of the Mothman's existence is there, but it likely isn't as mysterious as the rumors suggest. I am more inclined to believe it is a large bird. Firstly, the rumors about the Mothman that we hear have already been exaggerated through many layers. Coupled with the horror-filled portrayal by media around the world, the truth of it has become even more mysterious. While doing my own research, I found that many online creators have tried to localize the Mothman legend, posting articles claiming that a similar creature appeared in their own countries decades ago. These stories often claim it was seen before a major local disaster, like a catastrophic dam collapse, sometimes citing obscure sources that are impossible to verify. Furthermore, some popular online encyclopedias and sources claim that between 1966 and 1967, most of the Point Pleasant residents who witnessed the Mothman either went insane or died by suicide, and that the NSA sealed this matter as a classified file. However, I discovered that one of the primary witnesses, Linda Scarberry, was alive and giving interviews as late as 2001. According to her, the other original witnesses also lived on for many years. Linda Scarberry herself didn't pass away until 2011. So, this dramatic claim is also untrue. If this level of misinformation exists online, one can only imagine how many other parts of the story have been exaggerated over time. And most of the disasters supposedly foretold by the Mothman have clear, explainable causes rooted in human error or natural processes. Stories like this naturally attract followers of pseudoscience, which can create widespread delusion. I feel that, instead of blaming these tragedies on an unknown entity, it's more productive to reflect on our own mistakes. To this day, regardless of the truth, the legend of the Mothman has become a pop culture phenomenon. We can often see its unique image in various film, television, and game media. Since the Mothman Prophecies movie was released in theaters in January 2002, the story of the Mothman has been widely publicized, and in Point Pleasant, the hometown of the Mothman, tourism has boomed. In September of that year, Point Pleasant held its first annual Mothman Festival to celebrate it becoming a part of local culture. The following year, sculptor Bob Roach created a unique Mothman statue for Point Pleasant, standing 12 feet tall. In 2005, the Mothman Museum opened across the street from the statue. Every September, over 15,000 people come to visit. Whether the Mothman truly exists no longer seems important to the locals. As for us, perhaps it's best to let it maintain its mystique. After all, the unknown is always greater than the known. This is also the allure of UMA. Alright, that's it for this video. Thanks for watching.